Hi, and thanks for joining. Have you ever been invited to watch the game, but you had no idea what the rules were? You're sitting there on the couch, surrounded by people who are screaming at the screen, and you're just smiling and nodding. When should you cheer? When should you sigh in relief? And where can you ask these questions without getting a long lecture or looking stupid? If you have ever been in this situation, then this video is for you. I'm Catherine. Join me and let's make sports rules easy. Today, we're going to tackle the most popular sport on the entire planet. A game that unites billions, starts arguments in pubs from Manchester to Montevideo, and has a history stretching back thousands of years. We're talking about soccer, or, as most of the world knows it, football. The purpose of this video is to give you a complete beginner's guide. So, if you've ever wondered why people get so unbelievably passionate about 22 people chasing a ball, you're in the right place. We'll cover where the game came from, break down the essential rules you need to know to follow a match, and I'll finish with 3 mind-blowing facts that you can use to impress your friends. Let's get started. First up, where did soccer even come from? While the game's ancient roots stretch from China's Cuju to the Harpastum of the Romans, the direct line to the modern sport we love was forged in Britain. For centuries, they played mob football, a chaotic free-for-all where entire villages brawled to move a pig's bladder from one end of town to the other. With virtually no rules, it was so destructive that multiple kings banned it as a threat to public order. The change, the civilizing moment, came when the sport was adopted by the elite English public schools in the 19th century. They wanted to turn this brawl into a gentleman's sport that valued skill over force. The problem was, each school developed its own rules. This all came to a head on October 26, 1863, at the Freemasons' Tavern in London. Representatives from several football clubs met to establish a single, universal set of laws. This was the birth of the Football Association, or the FA. A major disagreement arose over hacking, kicking an opponent in the shins, and carrying the ball. When the pro-hacking, pro-carrying faction was outvoted, they walked out. This moment is known as the Great Schism of football. The clubs that stayed went on to perfect the rules of association football, while the ones who left eventually formed the Rugby Football Union. From that pivotal meeting, the game of soccer was truly born, and from there, it exploded across the world, carried by British sailors, soldiers, and traders. Okay, so you know where it came from. But how is it played? Let's break down the key rules. First, the main objective is beautifully simple. Get the round ball into the other team's rectangular goal. A team gets 1 point for each goal. The team with more goals at the end of the game wins. The game is played on a large rectangular field called a pitch, with a goal at each end. Each team fields 11 players in 4 core roles: the goalkeeper, the only player allowed to use their hands, and only within their penalty area; defenders, who form the backline to stop the opposition; midfielders, the engine of the team controlling the flow of the game; and forwards or strikers, whose main job is to score. Now for the most important rule, the one that defines the sport: no hands. Players must use their feet, head, or chest to control and advance the ball. Intentionally touching the ball with your hands or arms results in a foul called a handball, and the other team gets a free kick. A standard professional game is 90 minutes long, split into 2 45-minute halves with a short break. A key difference from many sports is that the clock never stops. It runs continuously, even if the ball goes out of play or a player is injured. To make up for that lost time, the referee adds on stoppage time, or injury time, at the end of each half, which is usually between 2 and 5 extra minutes. Now for the most confusing rule for newcomers: the offside rule. In simple terms, this rule prevents players from just camping out in front of the opponent's goal. A player is in an offside position if they are in the opponent's half of the field and are closer to the opponent's goal line than both the ball and the second-to-last defender. It's crucial to know that simply being in that position isn't illegal. The foul only occurs if the player in that position becomes actively involved in the play at the moment the ball is passed to them. It's a complex rule, but it's what forces teams to attack and defend as a coordinated, shifting unit. Finally, let's talk about fouls and discipline. If a player commits a foul, like tripping, pushing, or tackling unfairly, the referee can award a free kick. If a serious foul is committed by a defender inside their own penalty area, the attacking team gets a penalty kick, a one-on-one showdown between a player and the goalkeeper from 12 yards away. For more serious fouls, the referee uses cards. A yellow card is a formal warning. If a player gets 2 yellow cards in a game, it equals a red card. A straight red card can also be given for very dangerous fouls or violent conduct. A red card means the player is ejected from the game, and their team is not allowed to replace them. They must play the rest of the match with only 10 players, which is a massive disadvantage. Now that you've got the basics, here are 3 interesting facts that reveal just how deep the game's culture runs. Fact number 1. The origin of the word soccer is not American, it's British. In the 1880s, it was trendy slang at Oxford University to shorten words and add to the end. Rugby football was nicknamed rugger. Following this trend, students shortened association football to a soccer, which was quickly streamlined to just soccer. The term was exported to America and other countries where different forms of football already existed. While the term fell out of fashion in Britain, using soccer is actually a nod to the game's English roots. Fact number 2, soccer's global reach is staggering. The FIFA World Cup, held every 4 years, is by a massive margin the most watched sporting event in the world. The 2022 World Cup final between Argentina and France was watched by an estimated 1.5 billion people. That means roughly 1 out of every 5 human beings on the planet tuned in to watch a single game. To put that in perspective, that's more than 10 times the viewership of the Super Bowl. The sport's governing body, FIFA, has more member nations than the United Nations. Fact number 3. Soccer has literally stopped a war, if only for a day. During World War I, on Christmas Day 1914, an incredible, spontaneous ceasefire broke out between German and British soldiers on the Western Front. They cautiously emerged from their frozen trenches, not to fight, but to exchange gifts. And then, in the crater-filled wasteland known as No Man's Land, they played games of soccer. Using tin cans or bundled rags for balls, these men who were ordered to kill each other just hours before came together over a shared love for a simple game. It's a powerful testament to the sport's unique ability to foster a common humanity, even in the darkest of times. So there you have it, from its chaotic origins to its simple yet strategic rules and its incredible global impact. That's soccer in a nutshell. It's a game of skill, passion, and drama, and it truly is the beautiful game. I really hope you enjoyed that breakdown, and that the next time you're invited to watch a match, you'll feel confident enough to cheer, groan, and maybe even explain the offside rule to someone else. Please join me for the next video, where we make sports fun and easy to understand. We'll be diving into another fascinating and globally loved sport, the complex and captivating world of cricket. Thanks for watching.